Welcome to uARFIDwhatueat, a channel where we deal with some of the issues that somebody with avoidant restrictive food intake disorder deals with on a daily basis. My name is Chris. Today we're going to be trying out a food, and that food is Pumpernickel Bread.
Pumpernickel, pumpernickel.
This is the first bread that I've tried for this series so far. Bread can be very much so a safe food for me. It's one of those things I trust. It's very predictable, very consistent, nice easy flavor, texture, taste, all that good stuff. With that said, there's a lot of breads that are a bit of a challenge for me. Any bread that's like a whole grain or has like those little seeds or stuff, that kind of stuff intimidates me a little bit. So for today, I figured why not just jump into something really difficult for myself and try a bread that combines all of those wonderful things. Immediately, the color is not what I associate with a bread that I eat. I usually eat very just plain white breads. Whereas I look at this bread, and it's like brown like a chocolate bar kind of thing. It's got a bunch of little seeds in it, and I don't even know what those seeds are from. I could not tell you. So appearance-wise, immediately, this thing does not look tasty to me. Smells okay. It definitely smells a little grainier than most breads I eat, but it's not scary, at least. No, what actually though, it does kind of have a sharp smell to it in the back, almost like a vinegary smell, which is a very strange way to put it. Yeah, the more I'm smelling this, actually, the less good it's smelling, I have to be honest. Texture-wise, I'm actually shocked by how spongy it is. Thought this would be a little harder. It's probably a good sign. That means that it's probably very fresh, but again, I'm just taken aback by how spongy that is.
Yeah, as you can see up close, this actually has like a cake kind of consistency to it. It's really interesting. It doesn't look like it's going to be hard to chew. I'm happy to say that much. It should go down fairly simple, but I am concerned about biting into this, what I'm going to find. The color also seems to shift. Like, for example, this area is a little darker than the rest of it, and I don't like that. I wish it was consistent all the way through. Even this area here is a little darker. And it's got all these air pockets from when it rose, but that's just part of bread, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. But all these little seeds, all this, ugh, that's concerning for me.
All right, taste. Not sure what to expect, so let's find out. I gotta stop looking at it. Looking at it is not helping me right now. I don't know why this one's so difficult. I don't know. It's the color, I think, and the sponginess. It's just all the seeds. I'm concerned. I'm concerned about taking a bite of this. All right. Taste time. Here we go. Oh, dude. What's that taste? Yeah, seeds. Well, seeds stuck in my teeth. Yeah. When I bite into it, I get this really sharp flavor that I can't even put my finger on. I think this is like derivative of rye bread or something. And I don't really eat rye bread either, so I can't really contextualize what that means, but I feel like when I've tried rye bread before, that it's kind of always had this like, almost this like sour flavor. And I think that's kind of what I'm getting here, is I'm getting this hit of just like sour, almost vinegary kind of flavor, which is really strange. That's weird. That's not what I expect when I take a bite into bread. Let me tell you. What's interesting too, I have to say, is like when you have ARFID and you're trying a food like this, you kind of have to get past that shock factor, that first bite when you really get into it, and all of a sudden it's not what you thought it was going to be. That's one of the biggest challenges when you have ARFID, is trying to get past that initial reaction to it and kind of actually appreciate what it actually is. Because what I can positively say about it is that the texture was pretty good. I like that sponginess. It still had very bread-like quality to it as I'm chewing on it. It just had this really strange sour flavor to it. It is still hanging around. It doesn't linger too much, thankfully. This isn't like wet or moist, so it's not like spreading through my mouth or anything, which means is good. That means I can isolate the flavor and kind of just sit with it, but it was still quite a surprise. And I did get some of the seeds there, which I don't like at all. I'm chewing through something, and all of a sudden I've got these little seeds getting stuck in my teeth and stuff. Yucky. Bite two. Shocked by how sour that tastes. I gotta say, I just didn't expect that. I don't know. None of the breads I eat have a sour quality to them. And look, I know people are gonna see this and be like, ever heard never sourdough before. And yeah, fair enough, I get that, but I didn't like expect it would actually be like sour straight up. It's funny though, this is interesting. I like the texture. This is like, it's really fresh bread. And that part I really like. I'm chewing on this and I'm like, okay, it's moving, it's going down easy. It's not hanging around, easy to chew, good mouthfeel, good texture. It's nice and airy. And that sponginess isn't too bad. It goes down pretty smoothly, but the flavor is so sour. And yeah, you get these seeds in it. It's just gross. All right, I'm gonna take a bite with the crust here. God. Okay, surprisingly, the crust is actually helping. A lot of people, especially when you have ARFID, the crust to a bread can be kind of challenging. But in this case, it actually kind of brings it home. It's the slightest bit crunchier, and the flavor's a little more muted. It doesn't have that sour quality to it, the crust. So chewing that with the middle part makes it a little more bearable. Yeah, it's actually noticeable, I have to say, like chewing just the edge here, where you're just getting kind of the crust instead. That tastes much better. I still wouldn't say I would want to have this over like a regular baguette or something, but that borders on edible, whereas I find the middle section is really strong. And I don't like strong flavors. I don't want flavors that are going to be like overpowering my senses. It's really easy for someone like myself to be overstimulated when I'm eating. So that sour flavor is not what I'm looking for from something that should be simple and trustworthy in a bread. All right, and as a final scary surprise, this pumpernickel came with a spinach dip. Now, I don't like spinach, so probably not gonna like this, but I felt like since it came with it, I gotta try it at least, right? Ew, that dip is gross. There's like little pieces of things in there. Just a heads up as a sidebar here. When it says spinach dip, why am I opening this up and there's little orange things in there? Orange is not spinach. That's probably like carrot or something. And it says spinach dip. So why is there carrot in my spinach dip? I don't... Sorry, I'm getting exasperated. Well, with that little rant aside, let's try out my spinach dip here. Oh, it's really thick. I'm gonna just kind of try and get the dip part, try and avoid any of the little spinach pieces in there. Here we go, pumpernickel with spinach dip. Yum. Oh. That's way too strong. That's entirely too much flavor. Now the sour of the bread's coming in too. So this wasn't very fun. This wasn't fun at all. So overall thoughts, pumpernickel. It's surprising. I'll say that much. Yeah, appearance-wise, it's not a lot of good things going for it other than the fact that it is very bready, and I like the air pocket-iness to it. It looks harder to chew than it is. I'll say that. Like when it looks spongy, I'm concerned that it's going to be like... Sponge can be kind of hard to chew sometimes, I feel like. It kind of hangs around a little too long. This didn't have that issue, so I'll say that. That's a good thing. The color's not too good. I hate the seeds running through it and stuff. Yeah, smell, I have to say, it does smell like it tastes. A little bready, but a lot sour. Texture-wise, I'm impressed by it. I'm surprised to say. I kind of thought the seeds and whatnot would be more of a challenge for me. And while they were annoying, the actual chewing on this bread wasn't too bad. It was very fresh bread. I gotta give it credit there, at least. It tastes really fresh. The sponginess went down really easy, and I was kind of expecting the opposite, so I'm happy for that. The taste, though, ugh, this thing doesn't taste very good at all. It's so close to like tasting what I would hope bread would taste like, and then all of a sudden there's just this sour punch to it in the back. Don't like the taste. And much like the texture is kind of nice, the mouthfeel felt the same way as well. It actually was pretty easy to chew, went down fairly easily. Seeds were annoying, but they weren't as annoying as I thought they might be. And yeah, just to wrap it back to the flavor, this crust was a little better flavored in my opinion than the rest of it, almost because it had less of a flavor. Yeah, so overall, pumpernickel? Pumpernickel. And yeah, the spinach dip also sucked. I didn't like that. You didn't help at all. Thanks for nothing. Well, that's our first bread. Hopefully we can improve upon it with our next one. But that aside, this is uARFIDwhatueat. My name is Chris. Thank you very much for joining me today on this trying it out journey here. Hopefully you'll join us next episode and I'll have some better luck with whatever it is I'm eating that day. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.